Now I want to turn our attention to our show and tell, our art supplies. Inside your planner, I just printed out the page, is the basic art supply list. And I've divided it into 3 columns. This is the good, this is better, and then this is best. Now, you don't have to buy all of these. If you've only got $25, start here. Now, I will tell you that the supplies that I chose are cheap supplies, and they're not the best. They're not in this column, but they're good and they're enough to get you started. So I'm going to show you what I want you to buy if you only have $25. And you're going to get to go to the Walmarts. I don't really like Walmart, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, I went to Walmart just to see what we could buy with $25. And this is Be Inspired, B-E-E Inspired, and it is a watercolor pad, and it's not great, but it's good. And the reason I'm choosing this one for you is it's $11 and 50 sheets. So if you've got $25, you've got to have something for your children to paint on. Watercolor paper that is 140 pounds. Let me see if I'm holding that right. You want it to be at least 140 pounds. If it's less than that, it's going to buckle up. Now, the reason I don't love this, it is 140 pounds, and you can see I've been practicing on it, but it does have, I don't know if you can see it too well, but it's got a lot of texture, and I'm used to having more of a slick surface to work on, but it's not going to kill your kids. I'm just going to say this is a really good quality. You get 50 sheets. You can do watercolor on it. You can do acrylics on it. So the first thing you need is a substrate. And for the good substrate is this particular watercolor pad at Walmart. Next, you want a watercolor set. Now, let me find, here it is. I promise you that I am not misleading you when I tell you that Crayola makes a really good watercolor set. In fact, Olivia, my daughter, she teaches the K through 2 courses and Litter Archer and Art Escapades, and she always uses these watercolor things by Crayola. Now, at Walmart, they were $3.97, but at the time that I made this, I have a link to Amazon where you can get them for $2.72. Now, Amazon changes prices every day. So at the time of this recording, these were the 16 pack were $2.72, and that's how I got these supplies under $25. If you get them at Walmart for $3.97, it's going to be about $26 or $27. So check that link on Amazon. So you're going to have the watercolor pad, the Crayola watercolors. You're going to buy so they have several different types of acrylic craft paints. Their cheapest is the Apple Barrel acrylic paints. They sell them individually for 50 cents. You're going to go and you're going to get 10 at 50 cents. Don't get the pack. There is a pack of 12, and that's going to take you over $25. But if you get 10 of these, and I've got the colors, you're going to get red, orange, yellow, green, blue, pink, purple, white, black, brown. 50 cents, that's $5 for 10 of these, and they are the 2 ounces. They're not the best, but they're good. And then you're going to get a set of brushes. It's a 10-piece brush set. These brushes you can use for acrylics and for watercolor. So don't use them with oil paints. You're not going to even think about oil paints right now, but you can always share your brushes until they get to where they want to just do certain watercolors. That's later on. But right now, just get the simple brush set, It's by Royal Lang Nickel. And I'm saying all this, but it's inside your thing. You can just take this, print this out, and go to Walmart and look for these. And I have pictures of them. I'll see if I can superimpose them somewhere in this video. But you're going to get a 10-piece brush set for $4.47. You're going to get a pack of 4 foam brushes. This is Olivia's. I couldn't find mine, and I don't have a pack of them. Isn't that beautiful? But a pack of 4 of them for 94 cents. And then you're going to buy school glue at Walmart. It was 54 cents when I checked it. That totals $24.64 pre-tax. So sorry, I'm doing the best I can for you. But basically, this is a good start. So you will have, I'm going to hold up several of these, but these are not the apple barrel. But you're going to have 10 of these plus all this for $25 plus tax. So that's your good. Now I'm going to put away my apple barrel because I'll be honest with you, it's not the best quality. I don't love it. If you can spend $50, or even if you can spend more than $25 and less than $50, I would suggest that you go for folk art or Americana, Deco Art Americana. So let me put these away. I have way too much in my hands. If you can spend more than $25, I would suggest going with a step up from that Be Inspired pad. Now this is by Canson. It's an XL watercolor. It's still 140 pounds. Oh, and by the way, both of these were 9 by 12, which you could always like cut them in half. I do that all the time with our watercolor whimsies, like our spring and autumn editions, and we just did the Christmas edition. So I always cut mine in half because sometimes it's a lot more fun to work small. But this one is so much better, and it only has 30 pages, and it is $14.03 as of this recording. But it is so much better. The well, great, my thing just fell off, but it's got a lot smoother surface, and so you can do watercolor, you can do acrylics on watercolor paper, you can do monochromes, but I would, if you can do the better, $50, I would go with the Canson XL watercolor pad. And as I mentioned, I would go with folk art or Deco Art Americana. I just grabbed, this color is burnt sienna, but there is a folk art set with, I believe it's 12 paints for $10.67 on Amazon. I have the link in this PDF. You just click on it. You don't have to buy it through Amazon, but you can at least see all the colors that are in it. And it's a better quality. I'll be honest with you. Michael's has the cheap Craft Smart. Hobby Lobby has one called Anita's. I don't like hardly any of them. If I'm going to use the craft paints, I'm going to go with the Deco Art Americana or the folk art. The folk art's kind of the best. So then we're still doing better. We're sticking with the Crayola watercolors. I'm serious. These are really good. They give you vibrant colors, and you don't have to like scrape the paint. Oh, and by the way, let me just tell you what you want to avoid. These are washable. So you can get, of course, watercolors are going to be washable, but you want these. Can you see as I hold these that they look kind of shiny? And that's because they are semi-moist watercolors. At all costs, I beg you to avoid these. These are, they are called pan watercolors or cake. Some even call them pancakes. I don't know why, but they're not the greatest. In fact, these types of watercolors will probably discourage your kids because they have to just dig and dig and dig with their brush, have to add a lot of water just to get the colors, and it's going to add a lot of water to the paper, which is going to make the paper buckle or even wrinkle. So I suggest you avoid these kind. If you have them and that's all you have, then use them. But I mean, if you can't spend $2.72 or $3.97 on these, then I don't know. These are really good. If you want to move up from these, you can use Prang. But for the best, I'm going to show you, the best. So we're sticking with the Crayola watercolors. We've gone to the Folk Art acrylic paint. I have a 20-piece brush set on Amazon that I'm linking to this PDF for $6.89. And then a charcoal pencil set. I forgot to pull those out. The link that I have, you definitely want to get it, even though the picture on there is wrong. The picture shows all 4 white charcoals. What you're going to get in that pack is 4 different charcoal pencils, and I'm not sure if these are all different. Yes, they are. So I've got an HB, a 2B, and a 6B. They're different softnesses. These are ones I use, but in that pack that I'm going to link, you're going to get 3 black charcoal markers or pencils, and then 1 white, which I love. I love white charcoal. And in our YouTube monochromatic creative juice list, I show you how to play around with charcoal. And I think you also get a kneaded eraser in this pack. So either that or a sharpener for your markers, for your pencils. So grab that. And then $50, grab you one of my favorite things ever, Mod Podge. This is so that you can do mixed media collages with your kids, or they can do it. And I love this, and that's why I said if you can't afford this, then grab the school glue, because this will work, but it's not Mod Podge. So also, you're going to want an ultra-fine Sharpie. You can get 2 of these at Walmart for $1.99. On Amazon, there were 2 for $5.99. So I'm trying to keep you under $50 or around $50. And then Michael's, you're going to want to go there and grab a jelly roll. This is a white gel pen. So these 2 things are going to help with the fun of mixed media art. And just adding the line drawings and the highlights from this kind of gel pen really makes art come alive with your kids, makes the things pop. So the better list comes out to a total of $50.81 pre-tax. Tried to get it as close to $50, but I wanted to get these pins in there. So if you can afford $50, that's the center column. All right, so if you get the $50 ones and you can spend a little bit more, or as your kids use up the supplies you have and you want to replenish. Now, I suggest this all the way through upper elementary, maybe even middle school. But if they want to do a little bit more with watercolors, then my option, the cheapest option, is this set by Prima. This is I can't see it. Let me show it to you. These are pretty, these are like professional watercolors, and they're semi-moist. And what this is a filled case so that your kids could take them on nature walks, and they use this part as a palette for mixing their colors. You can get little, I don't have them here on my table, but you can get little brushes that hold water inside them, and they can watercolor. And then This set on Amazon is $18.57. Now, I will say Winsor and Newton is kind of the standard of watercolors. I also have this field set. And oh, here's what I was talking about. This is a water brush. So you put the water, it comes apart. You put water in this and you close it up, and then you've got the brush. So you paint and you just squeeze and it helps pull the water out. You have your little palette. And so this is good for nature walks too. I didn't include this one because it's like $10 more than this one, but they're just as good. Now, what I use, and I recommend this for our Watercolors 101 course. It's our art school course for teens. And I have my own palette. Ooh, it's kind of messy, but I use tube paints. Let me see if I've got some I can pull out real quick. So here are some tube paints. Now this is Winsor and Newton. This is the professional one, but they have a Cotman set for students. Basically, if you wanted to start adding in some like a little bit better quality watercolors, you could get tube paints and get your own little palette, and you fill up the little wells with your paints, and then you just use that when you paint. I love the tube paints. But again, like I said, Olivia still uses these. So these are not just good. They're better and not quite the best, but they will work. Also, if you can, grab you a set of canvas panels. These are hard panels. They're very thin. And these are so much fun to do acrylic paintings on. So if you have a lot of kids, you're probably not going to want to have them always painting on canvas panels because you're going to run out of wall space and frames. So that's why I say, you know, paint on the watercolor pad. And then for special projects, you can start them on these little canvases. Another idea, and this is, you can get, this is like $1. You go to a thrift store and you buy a big book, and you just, I painted the cover on this. This one was British Castles. You can see what it really looked like. And then you get some gesso. Don't get this size, get the smaller size. And you have your kids gesso the pages, and then they paint on this. And so you can leave, like I put clear gesso on this page. So when I go back to paint over it, you'll still see some of the illustrations there. But this works for a lot of moms who have a lot of kids and they want to be able to just keep a lot of their paintings together. They don't want to spend a lot of money on watercolor paper. They don't want to spend money on canvases. And it's a portfolio, so to speak, that will last them. And for $1 plus gesso. So I have gesso linked on here. Do I? I don't. But I'm going to put some of the extra links in this session just so if you want to improve on my best, then you can go ahead and purchase those as well. When your kids get to the point that they are ready to move beyond craft paints and they are wanting to do like our acrylics 101 course with our art school, you might want to invest in student grade paints. These are Liquitex Basics. Hobby Lobby has the Master's Touch and Michael's has Artist Loft. But I am linking you to a set of 6 in the classic colors that were used by the great master artists, Leonardo da Vinci, Rembrandt, Monet, all of them. So it's got the ultramarine blue, it's got naphthol red or crimson, it's got vermilion, all these awesome colors that the classic artists, famous artists used. So it's a set of 6 and it's $38.56. But these, you don't need a lot of colors because you're you can mix these. They have a higher grade of pigment in them, much better than the craft paints, and they're easily mixed. So once your kids are ready to advance to a better quality of acrylic paints, then check out these student grade by Liquitex or their knockoff versions from Michael's or Hobby Lobby. Finally, if you can afford the Micron pens instead of the Sharpie, I have a link to a set of 6 of the Micron Sakura Pigma pens that I love them. I use these. I mean, I'll use these, but you can get these in so many different sizes, thinner and thicker. And then also a Sharpie. This is it's a paint pen or a poster marker, but you want to get the one with the blue because that's water-based. The one with the pink is oil-based, and you don't want that one. So these are just little extras that you can add as you go. And lastly, I wanted to show you a whole different medium. And these are oil pastels, and I love these. These are not crayons. They are so much better than crayons, far superior. But this one is the Artist Gallery, and it is only $22.43, and they are very comparable to professional. So I would call these student grade. You can get the Pentel set of oil pastels for about $9 or $10. But if your kids want to do like painting in oil pastels, then I would suggest this particular set. So I have a link to that as well. You do not need these. You don't need them all, but as your kids grow and learn different processes with art and want to add to their repertoire, then check out the best list and add to that. So I hope that this has helped you out in knowing what to buy by seeing some of these art supplies and knowing which ones are good enough to get started with, and as you go, which ones you can upgrade a little bit to, where you can find them online, where you can find them in real life, basically what the prices are and how much you can budget. I hope that this will help you take a deep dive into getting some art supplies for your kids and helping them get started with art.